Oh, not yet, I don't think. With a couple of these boys sitting beside me, starting to get a little bit real now. Speaking to the kids again this morning, they're pretty excited to head up to Brisbane on the plane and run out in the ground. So I think later in the week, a few interviews tonight, and obviously doing this now, I think we'll start, setting in. So, but looking forward to it. Like I said, excited to run out with the kids. They're super happy with about that. But at the end of the day, for me, it'll be putting my arms around my teammates and singing a song. So that's the most important thing.
Any thoughts of holding it off so you can celebrate in front of fans in Melbourne?
Unfortunately not. As much as I would love to do that, football's football. There's not too many fairy tales in football, and it would be good to play at Etihad Stadium in front of the fans. But I've got a lot of support going up to Brisbane with me, family and friends, and I'm sure some North Melbourne supporters will be heading up there as well. So I'm not one to put my hand up and miss a game of footy because I love it so much. And the coach has certainly not come to me and said, can we miss a game? So with that in mind, there was never any talk about that.
Had you had any contact with the other three guys in the club before now?
Yeah, obviously Fletch played in international rules with him a few times now. Made sure I sat back and watched Dustin's 400th game the other week when he was going through it all. And not too much with Tucky, and KB run into him all the time just in terms of travelling, playing football, and he does a little bit of radio still. So speak to him a little bit about that. KB actually said to me the other week, we played a game in Tassie, and he said that him and Tucky normally catch up in a phone booth, but the four of us now will have to catch up at the post office. So a little bit of a joke from KB, but no, looking forward to joining the boys. Obviously, I've looked at these guys' careers, and it's a little bit, I guess you could say, embarrassing to be joining three legends of the AFL. So, but hopefully I'll get there this week, and it'll be a good club to join.
Can you put on the family and friends you've got going up with you? What sort of contingent will they?
Last time I spoke to my partner, she said 75. So got a few friends and family. Like I said, they've been there since day one as well. That's the most important thing. It's not just a couple of hanger-oners coming up on the flight with us. I've got a really good support base in my family and also my friends that I grew up with. So I'm going to be rapt to run out, see them after the game. I think the footy club's organised a function for us, and just to have all them there and have a quiet beer with them afterwards will be a nice touch.
But surely you won't start and stuff this week?
You have to ask Brad that. The teams are not in just yet. So we'll see how we go with that one. I'd hope not, but yeah.
Can you believe where you are now, where you're sitting at the start of your career? You're one of only four blokes who have ever played this many games in the history of the game.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I haven't really thought about it too much. Leading into this year was probably the first time I thought about it, because I thought there's a chance that I could, things still had to go right. We're in round 17 now, so, injury, suspension, all that sort of stuff had to hold up. At the start of my career, certainly not. 10 games or one game was probably the aim. But it's something I'll look back at when my career finishes and be able to tell my kids, there's only there's 4 or maybe 5 or whatever it is that have played 400, and I've been lucky enough to be one of them.
I think you'll be the last.
I did say during the week that I think I'll be the last, and again, I hope it doesn't come across wrong that I think you think I'm big-headed or anything like that. I just think the way the game's changed, and I'm sure Fletch can back me up here. When I first started, it was 3 days a week, 2 weight sessions whenever you wanted to. It was literally, I was still at school completing year 12, and then I had a full-time job working 35 hours, I think, in my first couple of years. If I come into the system 6, 7, 10 years ago, it's changed full circle, and I'm talking being at the club for 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. The mental side of things have lifted a little bit, so I just don't think anyone can prepare himself and get to 400 anymore.
Dustin, have you had any advice for Brent on how to handle the occasion on Saturday night?
I think just to enjoy himself. We spoke just before about the occasion, and with mine, I probably felt a little bit of the pressure in the end, having obviously a fair bit of media around, and trying to knock over all the the press conference, but the radio interviews. So I just think enjoy it as much as you can, because 400 games, it's a pretty good achievement, and I can sit back and watch now and enjoy Boomer go around, because before it was with Tucky and KB. To have another one in there is it's good.
Can you recall your 400? Did they make a special commemorative long sleeve jumper, did they? Or?
No, I remember it, yes. I probably didn't play very well because you're a bit nervous and that type of stuff, but basically it's a good thing to get over with. And they, it was, well, as I said, didn't play very well, but it was a good memory, and to actually keep going the next year was even better. So I was going to say to Boom before, it'd be better if he really stayed back in Melbourne to have the whole crowd with him and all that, because that way he plays one less game.
Well, just on that, do you think he can catch the record? And if so, will there be a part of it that'll be a little bit dirty on him? Or?
No, and it won't be dirty on him. I'll be honest with you, I'll be disappointed, but he's certainly playing well enough to keep going. But as long as all those rumours you hear from the coach saying things he's got to do and all that, but he's smart enough to know what's going on. So he's playing well enough, and that's out of my control anyway, basically. So I've had a very good run out of it all, and as what we said before, if I played one game I was going to be happy, but to end up where we were, to play over 400 games, it's just an absolute bonus, because I love playing footy and that's the end result, basically. And I couldn't do any more than I've done.
Just told you in the club for so long, now 2 in a hurry. How does that make sense?
Well, the funny part about it is Kev was there probably a few years before me, and then I got there. I think it's roughly about 23, 24 years, and everybody says no one's ever going to get there. Next minute, bang, bang, 2 in 1 year. So it's going to be harder, but there's always possibility. If Gary Ablett didn't hurt his shoulder, he could be a model. He could go to the forward pocket and kick 2 or 3 goals a week easy, and he could chuff up 400 games, I reckon. But after his cooked shoulder, he missed a fair bit of time, and a lot depends whether they want to keep going or not. That's the main thing.
You played a lot of seconds for the 2, taking out the body now. Played about 600.
Ah, well, it's not too bad, really. I was working this morning, so, yeah, so it's not too bad. It's not because I want to work, it's because I've got no money. These blokes are making all the money. We got peanuts nowadays.
Well, we haven't seen you since you 400. How's the body? Are we going to see you out there again?
Yeah, I hope so. Obviously, I have a bit of a sore groin and it's flared up a couple of times, so it's just a bit disappointing. But I'll do my best to there's 7 or 8 games to go to try and get back and have a bit of a run, because you sort of wouldn't want to. It's great to play 400, but you still want to try and push it out. But a 40-year-old with a bit of a sore groin probably doesn't look too flash. So we'll just have to see how we go in the next 6 weeks.
Would you go through the VFL if you had to?
To be honest, we'll just have to see how we go. We'll sort of go through that, when it happens. But again, 40-year-old run around the VFL. I'm probably better off run around down Aberfeldy or something in the local comp. So
Super rules.
Yeah, Super Rules maybe, that might be the go.
Are you worried though, Dustin, that you might have played your last game?
No, not worried, to be honest. As I said, Boomer and Tucky, to play 400 games is fantastic, and I said back on my 400th to have your family there, and even teammates that might have played 5 games, to see them there at my game was something that I'll always remember. And and sneak a beer with them in after the game was what you play footy for. And but I'm not too fussed with regard to that.
Boomer, you've got Tucky in your sights now. Is that a goal to overtake him?
No, it's not. Again, if that happened, it would be something you reflect on at the end of your career. But I'm certainly not playing or going around. I'm not signed. Haven't signed for next year anyway. But I'm not playing to break Tucky's record. That's for sure. I'm playing for one reason and one reason only. I think you guys are smart enough to work out that's a premiership.
And you're confident, though, the way you're going, especially you've got at least another year.
I've always said that if my body's good and my mind's sound, that I'm happy to go again. Obviously, there's a lot of things. It's not just up to me. It's up to the football club and Brad being the senior coach. So it's usually around about this time of year, around 16, 17, that I sit down with him and go through a few things. And this year's probably no different. Probably try to knock over the 400 and then go in next week, knock on his door and sit down with him and see what he's thinking as well.
Is there a common theme between the 4 of them?
Just hard workers, I reckon.
Yeah. That sounds good. I'll run with that.
Who do you think about what could have been if it wasn't for suspensions and the injuries and the number that you could have got to?
No, not really. Like the boys have set up here, I think it's a fairly good effort, regardless, playing 400 games. It's my 20th year now. I'm not too sure how many. 23, I think, for you, Fletcher. 21 for Tucky. He played 400 finals, I think. So, No, I don't look back and dwell on injuries or suspensions or anything like that. I'm rapt to get to 400 this week, but that's not the end of it either. You know, we've still got a lot of football left this season. Hopefully some finals, and again, that's what I play for, to play finals and to win a premiership.
And when we all sit down and write and try to come up with words to describe you in 400 games, what kind of things would you like us to say?
That's a really good question. Legend. No, maybe not legend. I think competitor. I think that's my biggest asset. I've already said that I hate losing. I love winning. So I think that's made me the person I am, or the player I am. I don't like it when an 18-year-old comes in and can, you know, run a little bit quicker than me or try to out bench press me. There's always a competition somewhere with me. So I think the competitiveness in me has dragged me along and made me play so much football.
You talked about the sub before, but I'm guessing it's probably a bit of a shock to the system at the time. You still get the impression that you wanted to play on, I guess, beyond this year from the club perspective?
Again, honestly, haven't spoken to Brad. The sub the other week was a few things that we had to work on. We see Lindsay Thomas went out of the team, and I was made the sub, but that's fine with me. On the night, that was my role. That's what Brad asked me to do, and that's certainly what I tried to do to the best of my ability. I thought I played the role pretty well. A little bit disappointed. I don't think the sub will be around next year, so might have churned out a few more games playing that role. But no, I haven't spoken to Brad as yet, and I haven't got a feeling of what they're thinking either.
Flag was obviously a highlight, but what else from the 400 or the 399 memories like that? The point of the century.
Yeah, the point of the century. No, I think it's more based around the team stuff and like just the friendships that you make out of football. There's been a lot of guys that I started with that have moved on in life and no longer playing football, but are working at football clubs and working in everyday life. That they're the things that you hold on to the most, I think. Playing finals football, I mean, again, you play to win a premiership, but you've got to play in finals to do that. And there's been some outstanding games that we've won. So finals football, the friendships out of it, and just doing the best thing in the world, I reckon, for 20 years has been pretty pleasing.
And when you look back on that point, was about that much? What are your thoughts?
That my legs were too tired. Probably should have given it off a couple of times to tell you the truth, but I chose not to. Got to about 45 out and yeah, just a little bit weary in the legs to get it in. It would have been nice to kick it, but I didn't do it, so no use crying over spilt milk.
Fletcher, any special moments or stories you remember about?
Oh, probably not that special, to be honest, because I had to pick him up a few times, obviously, when we played. So, and even going back to, you know, the rival we had with North Melbourne, you know, a pretty good team that, obviously with Wayne Carey, and I think Boomer would have got, you know, play with him for a fair bit, and even blokes like Mickey Martin, Glenn Archer, Anthony Stevens, and might be showing my age a bit here, but Johnny Longmire, like, you know, there's some, you know, pretty special players, and as you said, you know, a lot of those people are still in football. So, but yeah, North have always been a tough side. Whenever Essendon played them, there's always been that bit of niggle. So, yeah, but just, you know, all the best. Go out and enjoy it, and you know, go for as long as you can.
So people playing for that flag. If you don't get one before you go, do you feel like it's almost been a missed opportunity with this group?
Oh, look, I was lucky enough to win one in '99 when I was 21 years old. But when I got to the club then, we played in a few prelims, lost the grand final in '98, and I played one in '99 as a 21-year-old. Like I said, I was probably naive about the whole situation, thinking I was going to be probably like this bloke next to me and playing 4 or 5 flags, but we haven't played in the grand final since then. So I would just love to experience that right now, but it probably means a little bit more to me. Don't get me wrong, I'm not being greedy. I've absolutely loved being a premiership player, but to achieve it with some of my best mates, Drew Petrie and these type of guys, Michael Ferrito, that would be pretty special as well.
So just to clarify, when you knock on Brad's door next week, in your mind, regardless of what club is, you're mentally, physically like to go again?
Right now, absolutely. Physically, body's really good, and mentally, I'm fine as well. So I'm ready to go again. But like I said, there's a lot of water that needs to go under the bridge, and Brad will certainly touch on some of them, and then we'll just go from there. But that's been no different for, I think it's been like that for about 4 years, that we wait to this time of year to do that.
Dustin, have you made a call yourself on what you're going to do next year?
No, not really, no. As I said, you know, there's, you know, up to 8 games to go, so you just, you know, go out and train and do your best, and obviously the groin's been sore, so it's sort of thrown a spanner in the works, but no, I haven't sat down with anyone yet, you know, at the end of the year, and when it's done, it's done. So you know, we'll go when that happens.
Tucky's record's still a chance.
Is what, sorry?
Tucky's record's still a chance.
Oh, you might have to. Boomer might be a chance. I've been playing obviously a little bit longer than these guys, so I've only averaged I think about 18 games, you know, through my career. So I think even with one more, I might be pushing it.
So do you know what is it? Well, you didn't want it at the time.
No, at the time, like, it was funny. The people in charge said your record will never be broken. So I always said records are made to be broken anyway. So you only hold them for a short time, really, because people seem to improve. And well, as Boomer said before, the fitness coaches got all the special coaches now, and they 6 days a week. But we had to work all day. Like these blokes just turn up and have a bit of a sauna and a spa and a bit of a run around and go home. But anyway, it was just the way it was basically. So I forgot what you asked then. I was talking about talking too much.
How about the race to this year's premiership? Would you see anyone being Hawthorn?
No. Well, I think that Sydney were the same last year, and Hawthorn, well, Freo started off very well. Everybody thought we'll see a year this year, but you've got to be consistent all year, so you're going to have your ups and downs. But I think the way Hawthorn, like Lake hurt himself, but when he comes back, he'll be a bit fresher. Like if you rotate the players, like years ago, the depth wasn't as good as what it is nowadays, and we had to play your best players to keep winning, basically. So with those, if they can have a spell through the year nowadays with so many games, it's a bonus. And they're a bit older, and Hodges come back from his holiday, it's probably done him the world of good. So they're in a very good spot, but anything can happen on the day, so you just never know what could happen.
If they win this year, does that make them greater than the iconic teams that you played with?
It's very hard to judge because I feel the 88, 89 sides would beat anybody playing today, personally, because you've got to put them on the scale of same age. Like, we would be as fit as these blokes if we had to be, and some of us probably were. But basically, if they've won 3 in a row, you've got to say, well, they're above us, basically, because they've got the facts and figures to prove it, basically. Because you can't beat success.
Sorry, what is it that makes this particular group special?
Well, I think Clarko's got a bit to do with it, but it's basically they recruited very well. I believe football sides, a lot of it's administration. You get the right people at the club, and you can get a good footballer, but if he doesn't fit in for the club and he causes more drama than what he's worth, is he worth having? So you've got to pick the right player for the club and to make the club click, and then if the club clicks, that's the bonus, really. And you'll find that a team of champions will beat a champion team. So that's the way it is, basically. If you get a good all-over even side and play like a team, that's half the battle.
Boomer, who's the shortest member of the 400 club? You all KB?
If KB's shrinking a little bit, I might get him in a couple of years, but no, I think he's got me for a bit of height. Got more hair than him, so it's all right.
And just a quick one on the jumper, you got your name on there for Wanderers?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's a huge honour, I think. We tried to do something very similar, I think, for the 350th, but didn't work out. We just had a little badge underneath the Mazda sign. But to have something like that, I think is unique. From a distance, you don't really know what it is, and then get a little bit closer and you can sort of see what it is. So for me, I'm not too sure what other people think, and there's going to be people out there that don't like it, and there's going to be people out there that love it. It's me, so I think it's fantastic. It's my nickname. It's what people know me as. I think in the footy circles, I'm Boomer. I'm not really Brent Harvey. I'm Boomer. So that to me is, I'm really grateful that the club come up with a fantastic design.